I am thankful to have connected with you on this podcast. I want to ask you a favor. Please do subscribe, and by doing that, you help us to bring on many wonderful guests that we can all learn from, grow, and make an impact. Hello, Klea.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful. We are so excited to have you on the show. Take us away. Tell us about your immigrant story.
Yes, for sure. So my name is Klea Ahmet. I was born in Albania, which is a small country in Europe, in the Balkans. And then at 2 years old, I moved to America. I grew up in Michigan. I lived there my entire life. I went to middle school, high school, and college as well. I went to the Michigan State University where I studied human biology and physiology with minors in entrepreneurship and leadership. And now I currently live in Florida where I'm studying for my master's in biomedical sciences and then in hopes to matriculate into medical school.
Amazing. So, listening to you, you have quite a great accent. I don't think that many people come to you and say, "Where are you originally from?" Do you get that?
Not necessarily. When I'm in my community, my Albanian community, a lot of people will just tell, I guess, by how we look. I guess Albanians have a certain look. So that I only get that in my own community, but in America in general, no, I never usually get that.
Okay. So,
Sometimes I do with my name because they're like, it's very unique. It's not a very typical American name. So then they'll start asking questions.
okay. Tell us about your journey. So, in the beginning, when you came, you were quite young. How was it like? So, going to school, did you feel any different? Did you face any challenges?
Yeah, so my parents, they moved to the United States in order to seek a better life, more opportunities, and really it was their journey that instilled in me the resilience and adaptability that I carry in every aspect of my life. Growing up, I navigated the challenges of bridging two cultures, the Albanian culture and the American culture. And initially, it was about helping my family adapt to a new country. I remember I would arrange doctor appointments and home repairs and really stand as like their point of contact in every aspect of their life. And this dual cultural existence, it sometimes placed me at an intersection of stereotypes and expectations from both societies, both the Albanian and the American societies. But it also taught me the value of empathy, understanding, and strength that diversity brings to one's character. We are all unique, and at the end of the day, whether it's first generation, second generation, or third generation, we're all immigrants or products of immigrants at one point. So it's really important instilling that diversity and those morals and ethics that one's family brings upon them in carrying their everyday life.
Great. So, growing up as an immigrant and seeking growth, tell us about your path educationally, what you are studying, why did you choose to study that, and if there's anybody listening who wants to pursue the path that you are on, share with us how.
Yeah, for sure. In an immigrant household, you tend to have that stereotype of you should become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. That's kind of like what our parents instilled in us. Thankfully, my parents didn't necessarily tell me to go towards a certain path. They just really wanted me to be successful in whatever career that I ended up choosing. Whether it was medicine or whether it was business, the legal system, or anything like that, it was just really important for them for me to be successful. So throughout high school, throughout college as well, I always knew that I wanted to pursue something in medicine. I was really good at my science classes. I always studied a lot, and I knew that to become anything in life, you have to work hard for it. It's not given to you. And having those opportunities is something that I really took advantage of. Um, when I was younger, my parents would I would go with them to the doctor's appointments because it was difficult for them to speak English and understand medical terms when physicians would speak to them. And I remember there was one time where my father was at the doctor's office, and the doctor himself was an immigrant. And just the empathy, the communication, and the willingness to take the time to teach because doctors are busy. They have a lot going on, many patients. Many of them see like 40, 50 patients a day. And the fact that he took the time to really understand my father's concerns and try to understand where he was coming from was really something that sparked an interest in me. And I wanted to be something. I wanted to be that. I wanted to do that in the future. And I wanted to instill those values that I learned from that physician just by seeing it. I mean, I was young, I was 8 years old. Just by seeing that physician treat my dad, it really inspired me. Okay, I want to do this in the future. And ever since then, it kind of took off. I started doing volunteering. I would work in the medical field. I worked as a CNA in Michigan for 2 years in an assisted living and memory care facility. And then in coming to Florida, I work as a medical assistant right now at a cardiology office. So it really taking that like science and that medicine path really has pushed me to continue doing something. And it's hard, of course, but everything that's worth it doesn't come easy.
Absolutely. So pursuing growth, your educational background, and where you are focusing on where you're going. What gives you the drive to keep going? Because nowadays, many people tend to lose focus.
Mhm.
So at your age, do you have a mentor? What is motivating you to work so hard?
I think for me, most importantly, I reflect on my parents' journeys and the obstacles they overcame, and their resilience inspires me to persevere. I never want to take their sacrifices for granted, and whether it was medicine or anything else, it was just really important for me to do well. And I think that's really what drives me. In terms of mentorship, I honestly I have a lot. Whether it's from school or outside in the Albanian community, um, those are the type of people that I really go to for advice. I reach out to mentors and peers for advice and perspectives, and I just keep reminding myself of the bigger picture and impact I aspire to make. I like to lead my life choices by the examples of Mother Teresa, and through all of my challenges and all of my obstacles that I've overcome, I really like to remain humble and remain resilient because it's really important to really reflect on the why. It's crucial to remember why you started, and that can reignite your motivation. I know that a lot of times, especially in our society now, we are influenced by social media and what everyone is doing online, and we kind of want to be like them, which is great, but also that comes with hard work at a certain point. Of course, thinking about individuals who have faced similar challenges and overcome them are something that I have depended on. And for me, the immigrant spine surgeon that helped my father, he really showed incredible empathy and patience. And just from then, I initiated that spark. And I really like to communicate with the Albanian community, whether it's the Albanian American Medical Society that I am also a part of, or whether if it's school advisors. It's really those type of people that want to help and want to make a difference. And I've seen that. I mean, a lot of people have helped me, especially navigating through college. That was not easy, and doing it for the first time was even harder. So yeah, that's really what inspired me.
Amazing. And I love that you talked about Mother Teresa. I also love her so much. I've read a lot about her and I live my life in a way that is inspired by her. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
What was it like growing up between cultures, that of your parents and that of the new country? How were you able to navigate that?
Yeah, so growing up, it's between the two cultures. It's been a rich but a complex experience. It for me, it meant celebrating traditional Albanian holidays while also embracing American customs. And this bicultural upbringing, it has allowed me to appreciate diversity and the importance of maintaining one's cultural identity. America is known as a melting pot, and staying true to yourself and believing who you really are, what your morals are, what your values are, what you bring to the table, whether it's academic, personal, work experience. That's what really is important. And just believing in yourself. I know for me, I grew up in an environment where my sister and I were the only Albanians in that community. So really being proud of who you are. I mean, there's going to come points where people are going to try to bring you down or try to, I mean, I don't like using the word Americanize, but kind of instill their own personal beliefs on you. But it's really important in maintaining who you are and believing in yourself. Those are really just values that I carry, not just throughout my academic, but also personal life as well.
Wonderful. So, Clea, how are you able to move forward when things seem so difficult? Could you share with us some tips on how you navigate challenges and setbacks and troubles?
Yeah, for me, it's always remembering the why. So why you started, why, what is the force that's driving you? Whether it's your parents' sacrifices or through like volunteering or work experience, it's just remembering why you initially put yourself in this place and sacrificed a lot of time, a lot of experiences, and a lot of who you are as a person as well. For me personally, the path to medicine, it hasn't been easy. I had to sacrifice a lot of time. When I went to undergrad, I lived by myself. My parents lived here in Florida at the time. So it was just a lot of sacrifice. But remembering why you started, it's going to be so fulfilling and rewarding, um, like in the future. I think as well, embracing what your journey is. Like your journey is very unique and it's going to be full of lessons that are going to shape you into the person that you are. For me, acting as a cultural liaison for my family at a young age, it instilled a strong sense of responsibility, adaptability, and communication as well. So embracing your story, your background, your values, it's like a source of strength. And it's important to own your narrative and use it as a foundation to build upon. I mean, there are so many opportunities that world has to offer, and being able to really embrace who you are puts you ahead of many, many people. I also wanted to say that life's experiences and circumstances, they're not always going to hand you opportunities. It's not going to be on a silver platter, like, here you go. I had to learn early on to seek out and sometimes create my own opportunities, to remain in my own culture. In undergrad, I did refound the Albanian American Student Organization chapter at my university. And it fostered a sense of community and cultural perseverance among myself as well as the other Albanian American students that attended school with. I also volunteered at the first Albanian free clinic in Michigan. This provided me like invaluable experiences and the chance to make a tangible difference in people's lives. I remember having these like Albanian, like older people in our community, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing that you still know the language and that you're able to put it into play with medicine and you're going to take care of us and I hope to see you as my future doctor." All the amazing things that one wants to hear from their community. So I think that was really important for me. It's always important to look for ways to expand your horizon, whether it's through education, volunteering, workplace, or starting new initiatives that align with your passions. That's really important. And that's kind of been a driving force for me as well, to do something different or something that people haven't been able to do in our community.
Leah, you are so inspirational. Thank you for the work that you do. I think that this conversation is going to go places and inspire people, help people to see growth, to volunteer, to make a significant impact. That's what you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's pause and reflect. How has the journey been so far as an immigrant, navigating your way up until this time and the way forward? You want to become a physician. Reflecting on that, has it been worth it?
I 100% think it's been worth it. I personally, it's been something, I feel like it's my life's calling. I can't see myself doing anything else. It's hard, like I said earlier. It's not going to be easy, but knowing, like I mentioned as well, knowing why you started and why you want to be doing this, is really important. Like from the outside, immigrant experiences are one of resilience. Starting early responsibilities and then these experiences translating into stronger foundations. As a physician, you're going to be, for me at least, I really want to help the underrepresented communities. Coming from an underrepresented community as an immigrant myself, it's been very important for me to continue that and to continue valuing that. I think the immigrant journey, my immigrant journey per se, it instills a strong sense of community and the desire to give back and through my leadership and community organization and volunteer work, I feel as though this has translated naturally into the medical profession and naturally into what I want to do in the future. I also think that my work with the Albanian American Society in terms of the free clinic, it has really demonstrated the dedication to healthcare and giving that accessibility and education. And I think that's really important in the pursuit of becoming a physician. And often in education, there's going to be significant barriers. It really teaches you to become relentless in the pursuit of academic and professional excellence. My academic achievements and research experiences really have been a reflection of my dedication and passion in science. It's really important, I guess, to also emphasize that becoming a physician, you want to become a physician for the right reasons and not for like personal gains. I know a lot of people now are really motivated by personal gains, whether it's fame, whether it's money, whether it's status. But you always have to remember that at the end of the day, you are taking care of someone else. Someone else's life is in your hands, and making sure that you are doing it for the right reasons is also going to motivate you and avoid that demotivation, I guess is the word I want to use, from pursuing medicine, because it's not going to be easy. I know that for me at least, there are nights where I spend hours. Like for me, a day, I talk to my family and I'm like, the amount of hours you guys spend working is the amount of hours I spend studying. And I just sit and I just study and study and study. And it's not easy, of course, but if you know what you are doing and you know why you are doing it and you see that light at the end of the tunnel, of course, there's going to be times where it's going to be very cloudy, but remaining true and not giving up, I feel like, are very important aspects in becoming a true physician. As a physician, you're going to be dealing with patients who, you know, your workday might end at 6, but if a patient comes in at 5:45 and they are really sick and really need your help, you're not going to go at 6. You're not going to be going home at 6. You're going to be staying after and really taking the time to take care of that patient and making sure that you are comfortable enough to send them home or pursue whatever the treatment for that patient is going to be.
Thank you, Klea, for everything that you're doing. You are wonderful. So in this community, some of the pillars that we engage our guests with include some of the choices that they make. Tell us about some important choices that you have made up until now to be able to get to where you are now.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the choices that I had to make was when my parents moved here to Florida in 2021. I decided to stay back in Michigan and complete my education there instead of transferring here to Florida. It was a hard decision just because as an immigrant, but I guess in my family as well, the aspect of family and being close to one another is really important. So it was really hard for me to live away from my parents during that time period. So I think that was one of the difficult choices that I had to make, but I can definitely say it was worth it. I got to really enforce my community in Albania, in Michigan, but the Albanian community. Um, and through that, I was able to work with some amazing organizations that I don't think I would have been able to work with had I moved here to Florida. And one of the organizations was the Fundiavan Drushe, it really is an organization in Albania that works to bridge the communities of underrepresented communities in Albania with providing resources. So I think one of the biggest ones, they build houses for citizens in Albania, and they provide educational resources for students who live in villages and aren't able to attend school or school is too far for them. So they built little educational communities within these different villages. A couple of years ago, there was a big earthquake in Albania, which destroyed many homes. And so this organization, with of course help of other organizations together, they were able to rebuild homes and reshelter people who have lost homes or land was not able to, their land wasn't able to be rebuilt. And so that was really important for me. Um, like I said earlier, being able to refound the Albanian American Student Organization, I took this step, and it was a significant step towards nurturing my cultural identity and contributing to my community. Um, this endeavor specifically allowed me to create a platform for Albanian American students to connect, celebrate our heritage, and support each other academically and personally. It was really a testament, I guess, for me to believe, to my belief in power and to believe in what I really wanted to embody as a future physician as well. The power of community is amazing. The Albanian American community, whether it's in Michigan, New York, in different countries as well. I know there's a big Albanian community in the UK and Germany and Australia, everywhere. We're all over the world.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it's really important to give back, and these principles are really my central approach to medicine. I also spent a lot of time engaging in research, and I chose to dive into research, particularly in the biochemistry laboratories. And this was a crucial step in my academic and professional development. This experience not only honored my scientific inquiry, but also my analytical skills. It deepened my understanding of the biological mechanisms underpinning health and disease. So I think this was really a cornerstone of my future approach to becoming a physician, mentoring as well, volunteering at the Albanian Free Clinic. And one thing I actually started my end of junior year. Yeah, I think it was end of junior year. I actually started to volunteer at the Refugee Development Center in East Lansing. And this was really, like, it really hit hard and hit home for me. It really was important for me to mentor refugee students through this development center. And it was an important decision that enriched my understanding of the challenges faced by immigrants. And I got my firsthand experience of immigrants from different parts of the world. I mean, there were immigrants from Afghanistan and Iraq and Ukraine and a bunch of other countries, Brazil as well. Like, I can't even begin to list all of them because there were so many. But this mentorship role really allowed me to make a direct impact on the lives of young individuals that are navigating the complex world, I would say. A new culture, different educational system. And for many of them, it was actually heartwarming because it was their first time that they were able to to get an education and go to these schools. And I thought that was really heartfelt, and it was really inspiring because one of the students that I mentored, and I will never forget her, I still think about her all the time, but she lived in East Lansing, which is also where Michigan State University is. And I remember in the beginning, she felt really discouraged just because education, especially for women, it was really hard for where she came from. And obtaining an education was something that was looked down upon because it wasn't a typical role that women played. And for her being able to attend education, I remember when I first met her, she was like, I always dreamed of becoming a dentist, but I know I'm not going to be able to become one because I can't go to school. And I was like, no, like, we're going to change that. And it was little by little, every month, twice a month, we would meet. And she really was able to not only pursue educational studies, but she was also able to get into the institution that I studied at. So she was able to get into Michigan State University. And it was so amazing just to see her achieve her dreams. And I remember, I mean, I don't have that same experience, but I know how hard it is to do something that it's very uncommon, I guess is the word, in your culture and in your background. And I know I always reflect on my parents. They weren't able to get an education, but instilling those values of getting an education for me and my sister, it really caused a driving power in me, and to also empower other immigrant students, whether it's first generation or immigrants themselves. So yeah, I think that was really inspiring.
But yeah, your immigrant journey, your story is unique, and I would say this is a masterclass for all immigrants. Thank you for reaching out. Yes, it is. That there's so much that we can learn from you. Like, this conversation is going to be a motivation for a lot of people to get up and then make an impact. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
And Clea, could you share with us some tips on how to become a master of your circumstances?
Yeah, so I think, like I said earlier, embracing your story and your journey is crucial. Always seek for opportunities for growth. What can you do? What's the next step? I always like to think once you achieve one thing in life, always look into what's the next thing. It's like a ladder. Okay, I grabbed one thing. I got this opportunity. Now I need to keep climbing up. What's the next opportunity I can get till you get into that place where you are not only fulfilled, but you are proud. Building a strong support network is crucial. No one achieves greatness in isolation. I love that quote. I always like to think that you can't do anything on your own. No one was able to do anything on their own. And building a network of mentors, peers, community members who share your values and aspirations, that can really provide you with that support and advice and motivation as well. I would also say that for me, working with the Albanian American Academic and Professional Association and other communities such as Base in Science, they've not only allowed me to give back, but also connect me with inspiring individuals who have guided and supported me in my journey and who I hope to do the same, paying it forward as well. Adopting a mindset of continuous learning is very important as well. The world is constantly evolving, and so should individuals. I don't think remaining stagnant is going to benefit you or going to do anything for you. So, committing to lifelong learning, not just in formal education, but also in all areas of life, is crucial. This includes staying curious, being open to new experiences, and actively seeking feedback. Staying in your comfort zone, you're not going to see much progress or much growth. So, really, like involving yourself in other things and getting out of your comfort zone is going to be important. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but how you respond to them really defines your path forward. Practicing resilience by facing obstacles head on, learning from failure, staying committed to your goals, and at the same time, cultivating gratitude for your journey is something that people really need to start practicing as well. And people who have already practiced to continue doing that and continue motivating others to do so. This mindset has always helped me stay grounded and focused, even when navigating complexities of growing up in an immigrant family.
Clea, what does it take to make an impact?
I think hard work, determination, passion, resilience, doing the inevitable. Those are characteristics that take an individual in making an impact. For me, pursuing a career in medicine all has also stemmed from wanting to bridge gaps in healthcare access and understanding for immigrant families. That's an impact that I hope to pursue. And really, my lifelong goal is to build a hospital back in Albania and bridge those communities and give that healthcare access that people deserve. It's not even they want, but they deserve. And yeah, that's really what my dream is. Maybe creating a nonprofit in helping bridging those gaps in education and healthcare in Albania is also something I'm passionate in. But you know, I feel like I have a lot of time to complete all these things that I want to do. So little by little.
I agree, you do have a lot of time, and I would say our community, the Albanian community, we are cheering you on and we are going to be a source of help and support for you. So let's do this.
Thank you.
So tell us about the impact that you are making in your community.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm just trying to really bridge those gaps, whether it's healthcare access or educational. Those are things that I'm very passionate in. I'm really passionate in also giving immigrants and first generations the opportunities um, to get to pursue their goals, not necessarily medicine, but regardless of whatever it is. You know, when my cousins came to America, I always took them to their college advising appointments because it was really important for me for them to get that education and make their parents' sacrifices worthwhile. And yeah, I feel like that's what I've been doing in my community, working with we call it the Shochata. It's really it stands in English. It's the Albanian American Academic and Professional Association. And this has been an important a journey for me as well, and just bridging those um, educational gaps between Albanians that are in the United States. Right now, that's our main focus, but hopefully expanding into mentorship for Albanians overseas as well is something that is in the plans for the future.
Wonderful. As we are wrapping up, is there anything that you are doing that you want our community to come and support you with?
Aside from working with the Albanian American organizations that I'm a part of, I think it's just really important to continue, not necessarily in my community, but immigrants in general, just to continue to uplift each other and support each other, motivate each other to keep pursuing those dreams. You know, life doesn't end by one setback. Your life is not over. And I've learned that the hard way as well. I've had many setbacks, but I've just chosen never to give up. And I think that's just something that immigrants can like applaud each other and support each other for.
Wonderful. If there's anybody watching and they want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Yeah, for sure. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just my first and last name, Klea Ahmet. Social media as well. They're always welcome to. I always check my LinkedIn though, so that would probably be the best approach. But yeah.
Great. So finally, Clea, please complete the sentence for us. Immigrants are?
Immigrants are the embodiment of resilience, of hope, and the pursuit of a better life. This is probably longer than a sentence, but their journeys enrich what society, diversity, and innovation of relentless spirits that really inspire us to strive for more.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming.